All the yarn used to make the Team USA cardigans was produced right here in our great state. And Polo Ralph Lauren chose one specific ranch because of its rich history dating back to the 1800s. I caught up with the owners, proud to have their sheep's wool supporting America at the Olympics.
It's been an unusually cold winter in Shaniko. The sheep don't seem to mind, their coats just growing thicker as the frost hardens in Oregon's high desert country.
Aren't you pretty, girls?
For rancher Jeanne Carver, a colder season means a richer harvest.
Food, clothing, and shelter in one animal. They ask for nothing, and they give you everything. So
she takes her role seriously as the owner of a 32,000-acre ranch in Wasco County. Her flock of Columbias and their protectors live right here 365 days a year. The sheep only coming inside to get a shearing once every 12 months.
We're in their world now. You have to behave differently. It's not about us out here, it's about them.
It's a solitary life, but Jeanne says she wouldn't have it any other way.
And you get up every morning and roll out of bed, open your eyes, and when you look out, this is what you see. You can't help but be inspired.
Once employing hundreds of men and their families, the Imperial Stock Ranch has been raising sheep and other livestock since 1871. It's Oregon's only ranch with a National Historic District designation. Eventually, the original owners sold the property, but the long tradition of family-owned ranching continued with Jeanne and her husband Dan taking over in 1988. All this time, ranchers tending their flocks, selling a renewable source of fiber, wool, the biggest cash crop since the beginning. But all that changed 14 years ago with the crash of the wool commodities market. All the business going overseas. Thousands of sheep ranchers across the U.S. didn't make it. Jeanne was told to give up.
When people tell you it's not worth anything, you just have to not believe them.
It could have been the end for what was once the largest individually owned land and stock holding in the entire state.
Okay.
But the Carvers weren't ready to give up, inspired to think outside the normal constraints of the market or risk losing their beloved flock.
It's icy. Let me get some lights on.
It happened right here, in buildings constructed by the first rancher on the property more than 100 years ago, the rebirth of the Imperial Stock Ranch.
The sheep come in from the north.
Jeanne says she can't take all the credit, pointing to her husband Dan as the catalyst for change.
We probably both felt it was important, didn't we, to keep sheep on the ranch? You might question. Yeah. So when we lost those markets, it was actually Dan who said, well, we need to find a new way forward.
Together, they cut out the middleman. The original homestead became the headquarters of a new business venture.
Ah, yes, working away at the yarn shop.
Imperial Yarn was born. Now a 4-woman operation, the company sells skeins of multicolored yarn to 300 different retailers across the country.
This is going to Babetta's Yarn and Gift in Fair Oaks, California.
And the fibers from what Jeanne lovingly calls her pretty girls even grace the runways of high fashion.
It truly is a win for all the sheep growers.
But getting any new business, stylish or not, out of the red is no easy task. And Imperial was at a real make-it-or-break-it time. That is until Jeanne got that call.
Actually, I said, are you kidding me? And he said, no, I'm serious. I'm sitting right here on Madison Avenue in New York. And I said, well, that is amazing.
A product development director for Polo Ralph Lauren asked Jeanne if she would like her yarn to be part of a special project. Little did she know it would catapult her brand onto an international stage.
The Aran yarn was chosen for the premier garment for Team USA, the opening ceremony sweater, the patchwork cardigan for Team USA to wear in the Parade of Nations in Sochi, February 7th.
From this point, Jeanne says it's been a whirlwind of excitement and exhaustion, trying to keep up with a growing business, along with all that media hype.
I feel very Olympic.
And I wasn't the first one to try on one of the patchwork-inspired cardigans. They had already made their debut on the Today Show.
When I watched them come on TV, I think I started crying right then. Yeah, here we are, out in the middle of this Shaniko country, and here we have Olympic sweaters sitting right here.
As it turns out, when her Olympic yarn makes its official mark at the opening ceremonies in Russia, Jeanne says she'll be right here with her pretty girls. She says it's almost time for their annual haircut, and it won't wait, not even for the Olympics.
I think we might carry on. I think we might.
But the story doesn't end here. Jeanne says Imperial Yarn will launch a collection of women's clothing by high fashion designer Anna Cohen in the fall of 2014.